In the shadowy alleys of Naples, Italy, the echoes of war played a relentless symphony, reverberating through the heart of a 10-year-old boy named Luca Rossi. The year was 1943, and the world was engulfed in chaos. Luca had always lived with a simple joy, his laughter ringing like a bell beneath the sun-drenched Italian skies. But that joy shattered one fateful night when the German army descended upon his neighborhood in a brutal raid that left devastation in its wake. Luca hid beneath the wooden floorboards of his home, clinging to a dusty toy soldier, his tiny heart racing. He heard the shouts and the gunfire, the shattering glass, and the cries of his parents as they were taken away. When silence finally cloaked the streets, he emerged to find his world irrevocably changed. His parents were gone, vanished into the darkness of war, and no tears could bring them back. With no family left, Luca was taken in by a German couple, the Schmidts, who had moved to Italy during the occupation. At first, they treated him kindly, a curious twist of fate that offered him refuge and safety from the horrors outside. But Luca carried the weight of his loss like a leaden cloak. It wrapped tightly around his heart, fueling a quiet rage that simmered beneath his surface. Growing up in the Schmidt household, Luca learned the ways of survival, adapting to the life and customs of his adoptive family. Yet, an insatiable curiosity began to fester within him, particularly about the war and the forces that had shattered his childhood. The more he learned, the more he uncovered the truth. The German army had been responsible for his parents' deaths. The realization ignited a fire within him, an unquenchable thirst for vengeance. On his 20th birthday, while the Schmidts celebrated with cheerful songs and homemade cake, Luca was grappling with a different kind of feast in the dark corners of his mind. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the small apartment, he stealthily slipped away. He was already a master of camouflage, having learned to hide from both enemies and friends. Out in the bustling streets of Naples, he began to embrace a darker side, the side that whispered of retribution and justice. Luca found himself drawn to the underbelly of the city, where the air was thick with secrets and the stench of desperation. Through chance encounters and sharp instincts, he honed his skills as a butcher, mastering the craft of knife work and the art of precision. With each passing day, he transformed into something both grotesque and powerful, a shadow among shadows, a ghost haunting the alleyways of vengeance. His first target was a soldier, a man with deep-set eyes and a hardened heart who had been part of the raid that claimed his parents. Luca followed him one fateful night, the sounds of the city muffled beneath the weight of his purpose. What he did next was both horrible and liberating, a dance between predator and prey that ended with a swift blade and a storm of rage. As weeks turned into months, Luca's infamous reputation grew. Each act of violence was not just murder, it was a symbolic resurrection of his parents, a reminder of their loss and the depths of his anger. He became a kind of urban legend, a spectre embodying the retribution of a lost generation. The Schmidts, sensing something amiss with Luca, grew wary of their once beloved ward. They noticed the distant look in his eyes, the flickers of madness sparking beneath his calm exterior. They could not fathom the truth that the war had not just taken his parents, it had sculpted him into an avenger, a butcher whose blade was fueled by the fires of loss and retribution. Soon, word spread of Orphaned haunting Berlin's soldiers, and fear began to ripple through the ranks of the German military. They whispered stories of the boy who became a man forged in the flames of vengeance. Luca reveled in the chaos he wrought, the thrill of the hunt overshadowing the emptiness within. But amid the carnage, a deeper question simmered: could revenge ever truly fill the void left by his parents? Each encounter was a flicker of satisfaction, yet he came to realize he was also becoming a monster, perpetuating the cycle of hatred and suffering that had once consumed his own life. Luca's journey led him to encounter others like him, those who had lost their families, those who sought redemption in pain and blood. They formed a clandestine pact of vengeance, driving each other further into a world of darkness. Together, they planned their ultimate strike, a direct assault on the German stronghold responsible for their suffering. In the cold light of dawn, armed with knives and a burning desire for justice, they stormed the compound, leaving a trail of blood and fury in their wake. As he fought, the faces of his parents flashed before him. He could almost hear their laughter amidst the chaos, almost feel their warmth against his skin. But in the aftermath, as the echoes of their cries faded, Luca stood alone amidst the wreckage of his deeds. In his pursuit of vengeance, he had unleashed an unthinkable darkness. The bloodshed had not returned his family, instead, it had buried him deeper in sorrow. Exhausted and haunted, he fled the ruins of his rage, a phantom against the backdrop of a war-torn world. In the years to come, Luca would wander not just as a butcher of men but also of his own soul. Eventually, he learned that revenge is a hollow victory. The true path lay in forgiveness, in reclaiming the essence of the life he once knew. And so, Luca Rossi, once a lost boy of Naples, became a wanderer in search of hope, driven by the whispers of his past to the memory of laughter, love, and the dream of a world that could still heal from the wounds of war.
Child of war's cruel past, will bear ghosts whisper in the rain. Raise my hands, they hid the truth, yet the flame still burned within. In the silence of his youth, he heard the cries of fallen kin. Luca, Luca, child of night, haunting those who fueled the fight. In your eyes the embers burn for justice, now the tides must turn. Luca, Luca, rise again, avenger of the broken men. In the wind your name will cry as those who wronged tremble by. They fed you lies, the twisted dream of honor, valor, glory's gleam. But in the dark you found the graves of soldiers lost in endless waves. Now you walk the moonlit road with vengeance sharp as steel. Through the whispers of the old, their guilty hearts you'll make them feel. Luca, Luca, child of night, haunting those who fueled the fight. In your eyes the embers burn for justice, now the tides must turn. Luca, Luca, rise again, avenger of the broken men. In the wind your name will cry as those who wronged you tremble by. From the ashes of the past, the spirit born to make it last. Echoes of the fallen call for Luca stands above them all. With every step the shadows fall, he brings the reckoning for all. Luca, Luca, dark and flame, they'll never speak your name again. But in the night your ghost will reign, avenger of the fallen slain. Luca, Luca, child of fate, you walk alone but never late.